In a quote made by Margaret Mead, she states, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Hi, my name is Brock Brown, and this is my speech about small groups. In this speech, I will be talking about a character I can relate to in a movie that we watched called The 12 Angry Men. The three main topics that I will be talking about throughout this speech are: first, the character I chose and why I chose this character; two, the contributions he makes throughout the movie towards finding a verdict for the defendant; and three, why he gets treated like he does throughout the movie. First, the character I chose and why. The character I chose was juror number 7, Jack Warden. The reason I chose him was first because he's a sports fan, and I'm also a sports fan, and I can relate to this because he was always, or in the movie, he was in a hurry to get to a sporting event. And like him, I'm usually in a hurry. And by being in a hurry, he came off as an obnoxious jerk. Sometimes I can do the same thing when I'm in a hurry. Two is the contributions he made. He made both positive and negative contributions. First, we'll look at the positive contributions. Some of the positive contributions he made were: at the end of the movie, he finally gives a real vote. Throughout the whole movie, he's been giving fake votes and just taking the majority side so that he can get out of there as fast as he can and go to the Yankees game that he bought tickets for. He also turns his back on the bigot when he takes his turn to speak about his opinion on what the verdict should be. At this point, the bigot stands up and starts talking about how this kid deserves to go to jail just because of the way he looks and where he came from. According to the bigot, he says that this kid should go to jail because he came from a bad neighborhood, and all kids that come from bad neighborhoods deserve to go to jail. At this point, Jack Warden and the rest of the jurors stand up and turn their backs on the bigot until he finally realizes that this is not the way to judge a character, not on racial profiles. Next, the negative contributions he makes. One of the negative contributions he makes is he doesn't participate. Like I said, throughout the whole movie, he doesn't care which way the verdict goes, and he just takes the majority side of the vote. He does this because he wants to get out of there as fast as he can, and he doesn't think he needs to waste his time on this. He doesn't care which way it goes, and he doesn't think anything's on the line, even though the kid's life is riding on this. Another negative contribution he makes is he criticizes others for participating in trying to come up with a verdict. When Davis first stands up and starts defending the kid on why he thinks he's not guilty, Jack Warden calls him out and asks him why he's doing this. The kid's obviously guilty, he says. Throughout this movie, Warden is asked to work in a work group, which is a collection of 3 or more people who must interact and influence each other to solve problems and accomplish a common purpose. This work group consists of all of the jurors. All of the jurors also must come up with a specific goal. A specific goal is a precisely stated and measurable and behaviorable goal. Their specific goal throughout the movie is to come up with a verdict, a unanimous verdict on whether the kid is guilty or not guilty. A unanimous verdict is one where all 11 jurors must vote on the same side. Their group, I would say, there's 2 types of group: homogeneous and heterogeneous group. I would say their group is a heterogeneous group, because a heterogeneous group is defined as a group that has various demographics, various levels of knowledge, and various attitudes are represented. In this movie, you can definitely see that some people are very interested in finding the right verdict for this kid, and other people, such as Warden, are just interested in getting out of the hall. The third thing that I'll talk about is why he gets treated the way he does. Why I think he gets treated the way he does is because he is a withdrawer. A withdrawer is a person who just performs or acts the way they act just to meet their own goals and doesn't care how this will affect the group and their ability to reach their goals. Another reason he gets treated the way he does is because he doesn't participate. To be an active participator, you must listen attentively, stay focused, ask meaningful and honest questions, take notes so you can remember what was said, play devil's advocate, and monitor your contributions so you participate enough to make contributions and not too much that you dominate the conversation. summarize my speech on small groups, I will go over my three main points again. In this speech, I talked about Jack Warden and why I chose him, and how I could relate to him. The contributions, both positive and negative, that he made, such as a negative contribution as he didn't care which way the verdict went, and why he got treated the way he did. When individuals interact with two or more people, they are required to assume roles no matter how big or small, whether they are a leader like Martin Balsam or a follower like Jack Warden was. There are three types of roles that a group must spread out amongst its members. There is task-oriented goals, self-centered goals, and maintenance or roles. Members of a group must select a role that best fits their abilities and will best fit them to help the group. For a group to have great synergy, its members need to mesh and take roles right for them and perform them to the best of their abilities with the group's best